Homes, get your homes. Come and buy a home today.
What the heck are you doing?
Oh, hi, Tom.
Hey, Joanne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Real Talk.
With Tom and Joanne.
Yes.
So what's the Homes, Get Your Homes?
I'm excited. So we're going to talk today to you about seller concessions.
Seller concessions. Doesn't it sound exciting, everybody? Seller concessions. What the heck does that even mean?
I know. That's what we're talking about.
Seller concessions. So what did you do at the beginning? What did they have to do with seller concessions?
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand. So everything is supply and demand, right? Economics 101. If you have a lot of something and very little demand, it's kind of hard to sell it. Actually, I lived in that real estate market at one time. You know, after this 2008 recession we had, where there's a lot of homes for sale, but very few people buying homes. So you couldn't get that much for your home. So it's all supply and demand. And we talk about seller concessions. Seller concessions really is a seller paying a buyer's closing costs. That's what a seller concession is. So a buyer who buys a home, let's say they buy a home and they have to put down 4% and it's $300. They put down $12,000. There might be another $4,000 in closing costs. So the seller can pay those costs typically. So they're conceding the closing costs. So the seller's paying the closing costs.
Now, as a seller, how is that appealing to me?
Well, I know it's so funny. I've been doing this for 33 years. So a lot of the guys my age and women my age, I'll say, hey, would you mind paying their costs? I ain't paying nobody's closing costs. Nobody paid mine. You ever hear that before? We hear it all the time, and I get it. Nobody did pay yours, but yours weren't as high as they are now. Okay, and prices aren't as the same as they were 30 years ago. So why would somebody pay closing costs? There are certain communities that maybe up to 50% of the buyers need help paying closing costs. Okay, they've got their $10,000 down payment, but they don't have the extra $4,000.
So as a seller, if I lose that amount of buyers,
absolutely,
I'm going to be sitting on the market, but I need to go to my next home.
It's all supply and demand. So if it's 50% needed and you say, I'm not paying it, you just lost 50% of the demand on your home, which may cost you more than you would have paid in the closing costs.
Because now I'm still paying my taxes and utility, my home's going to sit long.
So all you that said, I ain't paying anybody's closing costs because nobody paid mine, I get it, but yes, you are, if you want the most money for your home. It's all about what did you net at the end, right? What did you really get? What is your check made out for when you go to that closing of your home? That's really what you should care about. Sometimes we need somebody to pay $4,000 closing costs. They might pay you $4,000 more for your home just because they know you're covering their closing costs.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, that's a good point. We see that a lot on contracts. A buyer will, yes, they do need the little extra money to help, but they will, if you're asking $300,000 for your home, they will come in at maybe 305, 310. I'm just throwing out a number, but they will go over that price that you're
of course,
asking.
We got to get it to appraise for that.
Exactly.
And here's another point I want to make. One, yes, you should pay somebody's closing costs as long as their offer is high enough. Okay, so just let that go. It's just a reality. It was, who cares? What'd you net in the sale? That's all that matters. But I do want people to know, I hear some people say sometimes, well, isn't that what happened to the market in 2008, this recession and financing? This is not the same, people. I lived through that whole world. Okay, the 2008 recession was about subprime financing, meaning anybody could get a loan. Government agencies were giving people $8,000 to buy a home. Appraised values were anything anybody needed. It was a mess. It was wrong. Okay, you could see that coming a mile away. That's not what this is, you guys. This is about trying to help young people get in their first home. I mean, home ownership is exciting, but it's expensive. But some of these young people, they just don't have enough savings. Yeah, we all wish we had 20% down, and okay, but that's just not the reality today. So you can help a young person get into a home rather than them out paying rent by conceding some of the costs and paying for their closing costs. And really, there's nothing wrong with it. I'd highly recommend it. So if you're a realtor wondering, what do I say to my clients? You don't have an option. You're going to pay closing costs. That's just what it is.
And that brings me to something we always talk to you about in these podcasts, having a good buyer's consultation with a realtor. We will talk to you about these things, and it helps because then when you receive that offer, you'll have an understanding. Oh, they're asking for, you mentioned seller concessions, or sometimes we call them seller credits. I feel like there's a few different terminology for
But
it.
if you're talking to a realtor about selling your home and you say, I don't want to pay closing costs,
Mhm.
and they accept that, I'm sorry, they're doing you an injustice. They need to explain to you the benefits of
Mhm.
paying closing costs, because you're going to get all that demand, 100% of the demand on your home, which is going to drive your value up.
Yeah.
But if anything, if you're selling a home and you like a consultation, we offer free consultations. We'll come over and walk through all this for you and explain it to you and show you what your cost and bottom line is.
Absolutely. So go to askweichert@gmail.com. Reach out to us again for a buyer's consultation if you'd like to schedule an appointment or any other real estate related questions.
Thanks, everybody. Good
Thanks for
seeing
joining
you.
Real Talk.
Talk to you soon.